it's time to test our new reflectors. So I've just set myself up in some window light since we just were working with window light a couple of days ago, or well, I guess now at this point it's been a couple of weeks since we were at school and we had all that rain and we were staying inside. And so I think it'll be a good way to start off and just kind of review and practice these techniques. So I'm set up in basically a Rembrandt light, right? You can see, if I bring my chin down a little bit, or if I turn this way, now I'm kind of in loop lighting. If I go this way, from in this direction, I'm kind of in split light, and I'm also in broadside light. Whereas if I go this way into Rembrandt, I'm in short side lighting. So again, that's going to narrow my face. So here we are. I just wanted to make sure we wanted to have some amount of shadow so that we have something to fill, right? Otherwise, there's not a lot of need in that frontal for doing anything. So we'll just try each of our reflectors and see if it's doing anything. And again, what we should be keeping an eye on is this shadow side over here. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to touch and hold the screen and go click, click. What that'll do is it locks the exposure. So this way, in case there's other things coming in and out, the exposure is not going to be varying. So this side here should stay the same the whole way through. So let's start with white. So let's see here. Okay. So here's the white card that we just made. You can see my great painting job there. And with the reflector, then what we should see is, again, there's no fill. And as we start to bring this in, now we have evened out that light, right? The closer it is, the more I'm gonna get out of that reflector. And again, as long as it's not in the shot, right? As soon as it comes in there, it exists. But once it's out of the frame, it's not a part of the shot, and it is not, it doesn't exist as far as photography is concerned. So again, just so we can see the difference, there's without the fill and with the fill. And I'm just rotating that card in and out until I can see the light, right? No fill, fill. So that's our white reflectors, making a huge difference in the way that it looks. Right now, it might be that I want a little bit of that shadow, right? I mean, I might decide that I want to just, back that out a little bit so that, I still have some form. But again, it's all a matter of, controlling the light and augmenting and, changing how much light we're getting in there. And so I can control that shadow. Otherwise, I just have to do whatever it gives me, right? So, bounce. So that's our white. On the other side of white, we've got silver. So here's our silver side, right? And so it's got a little metallic to it, so it's going to have a little bit more kick probably. So again, so there's with nothing. And then there's our silver. Let me see if I can get a good spot to hold it. So there we go. So there's our silver reflector. Again, no fill, fill. No fill, fill. And let me go ahead and I'll take a quick picture too. There we go. So that's our white and our silver. So the difference between the silver and the gold really should be color, right? So they're both going to reflect some of that light, right? So again, here's our gold side. You can see a little bit of that shiny metallicness. And it should add warmth, right? The idea is that, the original gold reflector kind of came from this swimwear model or photographer that used to shoot Sports Illustrated in California. And he would just use a white sheet, but it was that golden hour light that would kick up that extra light. And so people started making these gold reflectors so that it kind of would mimic that. So again, if we've got no fill, and then as we bring and rotate that in, there's our fill. There's our gold. So it's just a matter of finding that position of light so that it's bouncing some of that back in there. So there's our gold. And again, there's our no fill. Okay, so far we said white, silver, gold. Last one is black. And again, what black's going to do is it should actually, so even though it may not seem like it, there is quite a bit of bounce that's kind of happening around. I mean, I've got white walls or close to white, and so some amount of light is reflecting around there. And so what the black should do is actually darken this shadow a little bit and kind of pull a little bit of this light that's kind of bouncing off of this wall and around the other walls, and kind of suck some of that light out of there. So let's just see if we can bring that in there. So again, this is the black side that we spray painted earlier. We should see that, like, especially if you look kind of right in here, you should see that shadow. There it is, a little bit brighter, and then it's darkening down. Okay, so the black, again, it's supposed to create more contrast. When the black is really nice, is what we did is when we were, especially in the frontal, it really gives some more form and some shape to the face. It pulls in those, the high cheekbones, and it pulls that in a little bit. But if we're just doing it on the single side, again, we can just see it cuts a little bit of that reflection if you were really trying to go from like a more of a dramatic effect. But so there's our black one. So you should be able to see, those are our homemade reflectors. It took maybe 15-20 minutes to create those, but if you just take a little bit of time this first week of kind of our online homeschool, virtual school, it'll just set you up for the rest of the term, so that when we do need to modify the light, and we will be doing other lighting assignments, we're going to talk about doing open shade, and we're going to do overcast, and we're going to do stuff with working with backlighting and things like that. And so we're going to need those reflectors. So the best thing is just take a little bit of time in the beginning, get those set up, and that way you're ready to work. All right, hopefully that was helpful, and look forward to seeing what you guys create with them.